Welcome back to Let's Chunk. You all know the drill. 5 questions, 15 seconds each. Short droplets of pure marketing insights suitable for anyone's LLM strategy. For the record, again, this is not an endorsement of an actual LLM strategy called chunking. It's just the name of a show. Just the name of a show. Blowing chunks to me today about PR, digital PR, is the queen of all the SEOs. She is the founder of Oriente, SEO FOMO newsletter. She speaks everywhere and she does a ton for the SEO industry. You already know her. It's Aleyda Solís.
Thank you very much for having me, Mordy. I'm delighted to be here and very eager to chunk.
So first, if marketers go to market, you're part of a brand new SaaS platform.
Indeed, I joined Dave Paris into Finchling. Finchling is a tool that if you're in digital PR, really need to test, that pretty much scans the news cycle to highlight the relevant news opportunities for your brands in order for you to react. And we also have a new feature that allows you to plan ahead within a year to see any news opportunities or topics or events that you might want to leverage for your digital PR campaigns as well. So yes, like in an era in which mentions have so much weight and importance, like, yes, I feel that this was a very natural way to evolve what I do indeed.
It's awesome. I've looked at it. It's super cool. And you should all check it out, which is why, again, we're talking about digital PR and what the heck it actually is. So let's start off with a quick question of what the heck even is digital PR now?
Digital PR now, honestly, I have been speaking to a lot of PRs lately to gather opportunities, functionalities, to validate ideas and features of Finchling. Whenever I say digital PR, PRs that have actually started with PR, that are pure PR, let's say, they always say digital PR, this is PR, only PR, remove the digital, right? However, it's true that marketers who might have been very likely previously in SEO or also content marketing or even link building and evolved to be PRs or to do PR online, they are the ones who call it digital PR indeed. But it's a way to get pretty much your brand stories out there, to get coverage for them, to get mentions, to get visibility in a way that is actually very aligned with your unique selling propositions, with the values of your brand and what your brand actually does. So relevance is very, very important. And the authoritativeness of the placement is also very, very important.
That is amazing because it used to be like digital PR where it's like link building. Because of LLMs and the importance of being visible, and like you mentioned, being visible in the right way, digital PR now means almost something completely different, which brings to my next question. Which is more important for LLM visibility, your on-site content or off-site content?
Oh, both. Oh my God, it depends. It depends where you are in the maturity level, right? If your content is blocked, if your content is not rendered, if your content is not well structured, it's not relevant at all, it doesn't have authority or signals, it's not written by an expert, it's not unique, it's not citable. That is the base of everything. So if you don't have that, it doesn't matter that you have a lot of mentions, a lot of citations, third-party citations, because you need to refer to something that you own pretty much in order to make it work, in order to tie and to connect with your actual customers. And that happens on your website. However, of course, if you have the fundamentals already covered, so yes, it's third-party citations in places that actually matter, that are actually aligned to what you do, and that refer to you and that mentions you in a way that is consistent across the web, is also aligned to what you do indeed. So, it's like what we usually used to talk about in SEO is like the base, is technical content and then links, and now technical content and now mentions indeed.
Yeah, and it's amazing. First off, that we're still debating, is it this or is it that? It's everything, and the whole thing is a fake. Even your mention to LLMs, they're going to find your website at a certain point to check you out and see. Where do you actually buy? I'm assuming you're not on Amazon or something. A lot of times on the actual website. So I don't know. I'm asking the question tongue in cheek, which one is more important? The answer is both.
Yes.
But I want to ask you, question number 3 is, how do you measure success in digital PR? What does that look like?
So yes, it's coverage. Not only the volume of the coverage, but the importance of the coverage, as well as how many citations it gives you, how much traffic. And this is like, I love that you're asking this because this is also very tied of the complexity that we have now with AI visibility as well. It's not necessarily a performance only channel, but it's a branding only channel, right? So we can not only measure it's like how many mentions and how much traffic or direct traffic does it refer? Is it tied or correlated with a growth in AI visibility or rankings? Well, it compounds as well, right? So what will be important for us to understand is that if it is connected with the way that we want to be perceived on one hand, if it allows our brand to be accessed and viewed by the audience that we really care about, that are really our customers, rather than raw generic metrics at the end of the day.
Which is such a change for like the performance world, because I was talking to someone on the brand side, like everyone's looking for volume. When it's on brand, it's really about alignment and quality and narrative. And it's a whole new world for us, I feel like.
It's a different way to assess things and not necessarily the way that we have been taught to explain things and to show value, right? And it's so much more. I really think that we are being pushed to learn a lot, but thankfully we are not the first having to do that. Like there's a whole area in marketing that is pretty used to navigate and use these sort of metrics as well and to sell well. As well.
I've been joking about this forever. If you've been running TV ads since the 1970s, this is not new. This is an old problem. How do you measure the impact of that ad? Because there's no exact metric and you don't know exactly who's watching and when they're watching, what they're feeling. Like, it's not new.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay, so what I really like, the snarky question that I really wanted to get to is, what kind of snake oil or bad advice do you hear about LLMs and digital PR that our audience should be careful of?
Oh my God. So
remember, it's a short answer. So like, I don't know where you want to start on that one.
Okay, still today, I am seeing a lot of people thinking that an easy way, a very low hanging fruit, a very low escape to having to really tackle and develop a real campaign, a meaningful campaign that requires a little bit of understanding of the brand, alignment, resources, and actual understanding and involvement, actual outreach to journalists, and pretty hard and to compete in order to get coverage. So rather than having to do that, this is just pretty much faking it with self-serving sort of top best of type of list that don't necessarily make sense. I think that this is what, unfortunately, a few thing can compensate real good reputation, right? Like your self-serving reputation, your top best of list, whatever you do, and then distributing it across many websites that many times have zero real value or relevance to your actual customers and audience and industry. But brute forcing that will make, especially now that we're in an very AI driven sort of like first AI, they will try to influence like that the visibility of your brand, of certain personalities as well, to be perceived in a certain way like that.
There's so much on the digital PR side like that. It's all like automated. Whereas, you want to automate, you want to use AI as much as possible to make things as easy as possible. You can't artificially or completely agentically build a perception and a reputation and do PR or digital PR completely agentically. That seems bonkers to me. It's a hot take.
Well, in fact, this is something that, again, talking a lot with digital PRs, it has come my way, and I've become aware of a big issue in the industry is like automation. All of these platforms that promise to automate outreach, for example, or the pitches, the whole campaigns. And at the end of the day, it's about lack of uniqueness, lack of a real angle, of understanding of the actual brand, and then all of the spam that it generates as well.
Yeah, that hits a fan at a certain point, and there's a limit to what you can accomplish with that sort of like kind of brand building. Which brings my last question before our bonus question. What percentage of companies do you think are actually doing the hard work?
What hard work? What of all of the hard
work of like building positioning, the legwork of running actual digital PR in a real way that drives quality mentions and are just not just trying to drive performance in a new way?
I wish I could say most, but unfortunately, I think that this is the level of sophistication, right? And even inside big companies, and I do consult for a few of some of the top companies in the world for SEO and now also AI search. And it's not that they are not doing PR, they are doing PR. The same with community management and building, right? But now it has come the time that even if they are doing it in a very sophisticated way and they have whole departments running it globally, etc., and per country and per industry, that they see the real need of alignment. Many times it's not that they don't do it at all. They do it, but they are very split in silos. They work in silos, and SEO is still seen, even if these high level companies have a lot of resources, they have been running SEO programs since, I don't know, 20 years ago. It's still seen as a very performance oriented and technical type of area in marketing. So, and they potentially talk a lot right now with PPC, yes, and product management, yes, less so with community management and PR. And now with AI search, that is fundamental, right? So I believe that the challenges are based on the size and the level of sophistication of the company. For startups and small companies, unfortunately, if this is not a well-funded startup and just small company,
it's very difficult.
Unfortunately, PR might not necessarily be the first thing because of resources and effort. And then for bigger companies in which you will assume that it's a solved problem.
They have a different problem. Amazing, right?
They are split. They don't talk to each other. They do it still in a very traditional way. So alignment is needed, and optimization and better support is needed in order to maximize the impact. Different challenges indeed. And the good part is that we're here to help, of course, to close that gap. And hopefully that will mean better results in general, not only for AI search, not only for PR, but for all the areas at the end of the day.
I'm totally with that. If you're, this is coming out in a few weeks in the actual recording of this, like pull the curtain behind the scenes. But keep an eye out on the SEO ranking channels about breaking those silos, because we're going to be talking a lot about that. And it is a real problem. Okay. So my bonus question, on a scale of 1 to 10, and I ask this to every guest, how important, with 1 being least, 10 being most, how important is the LLMs.txt file? I can never get that out right.
Really, Mordy? -1,000,000.
It's 1,000,000.
I don't know why we
Barry gave it a 2. It couldn't get any lower. -1,000,000 is definitely lower. That's awesome.
Go and better check your robots.txt. The file that actually, AI crawlers should be able to check or talk with your DevOps and get access to your CDN dashboard or to hosting board in order to understand all the accesses of AI bots and what you are blocking and what you are not, and so on, to better understand their behavior with your content indeed. But in general, unfortunately, it's not because Googlers have mentioned that they don't use that file. Potentially, they don't need to use it because at the end of the day, they are the most sophisticated search engine out there, right? The crawling system and all, they don't need that at the end of the day. But also, I believe into that. That is sort of like a patch in any case, at any point, a mechanism that was actually adopted by platforms. But I don't think that anybody will necessarily endorse that or adopt that at large, because it doesn't necessarily solve the real problem at scale and in the long run, but it's just a workaround. So why just don't improve your crawling systems in a different way, right? So yeah, there's that. And on that note, Aleyda, where can people find you, and what newsletter should they subscribe to? Well, thank you very much for asking, Mordy. Well, they can find me in, of course, my website, aleydasolís.com. I'm very active also in LinkedIn lately. And of course, SEO FOMO is my weekly newsletter with the latest SEO and AI search news, jobs, events, tools, whatever. I also have, speaking of digital PR, I have a new newsletter since a few months ago that is called Trending Campaigns at trendingcampaigns.com. The domain, indeed. And I pretty much every week, we highlight the best campaigns, the best digital campaigns of the week for inspiration. And we explain why we believe they are very deserving top campaigns on one hand, and then top 3 news opportunities of those topics that could potentially provide really good sources of topics for trending campaigns, for cool campaigns that certain brands can develop. And we explain why and provide also angles and examples as well. Awesome. So if you are in digital PR or who want to learn more in order to enhance and to expand your SEO, let's say, visibility and the ways that we understand what we do as well, it's like we should learn more about this, and not only about this, but also about community management, social media. I believe that we're in this search everywhere optimization era. Yeah. So it's important to have an understanding a little bit of all of the different platforms as well. We're very much about that because we have a social media platform called Plannable, and we very much believe in the layers of the ecosystem of correlating what's happening in search, happening in AI search, what's happening in social and traffic and on your site. It's all one picture together. And that means thank you for spewing hot chunks with me today. Don't forget to follow Aleyda on all of her platforms and all of her newsletters. Don't forget to look out for new episodes of Let's Chunk each Tuesday on the SE Ranking social media
media platforms like LinkedIn, and on our YouTube channel where you can see past episodes and you can subscribe to get notifications of new episodes of Let's Chunk. So again, like and subscribe on the SE Ranking YouTube channel. Goodbye for now, and until we chunk again.